that green bean. He doesn't shut up. Well, finally, he's gone. And we're here to talk about the Jets. They're going 12-5 this season. Some of you might say, he's crazy. They're not going 12-5. We're going 12-5. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell that big, stinking, ugly loser, Nick Shine, why, when we come back right after this.
And now, welcome to Pride and Chaos.
Welcome to the darkest year of our adventures. Oh, yeah!
And now, give it up for Jeremy and Nick.
Now you scared me.
And as usual, Nick is wrong.
Why are you the way that you are? God, I can't stand you.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Whoa, that was cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard everything in the last 6 weeks, everything imaginable. The organization is broken. Saleh is the most incompetent coach in the world. JD stinks and doesn't know what he's doing, and he's the reason we suck this year. We got everything but the truth. I want the truth. And I will speak the truth. Enough! Enough of this nonsense. Enough of this pansy-wansy crying and whining. Enough. I say enough. I don't care what Nick has to say. I don't care what Miami Dolphin fans have to say and Buffalo Bills fans have to say and every other fan of every other organization, because you're going to eat your words this year, because the New York Jets would have went 11-6 this year if they had a competent quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers didn't go down, possibly 12. Look, the offensive line got decimated, so even if it was still 11, that's okay, because guess what? We will come back with a better offensive line. We will. AVT will come back and play a full season. Tippmann will come back and be even better than he was and take a big step up his second year. And whether it's Connor McGovern at center or someone we draft in the 4th round at center, or whether it's Tippmann still at center because we signed somebody or drafted an interior guard in the draft, whichever guy we pick up to be our left tackle, it will be better than what we had in the past. It will be better because it will be healthier. Because not even this organization can repeat the massacre, the infirmary that offensive line was last year. It will not happen again. And guess what? This year, we will have Aaron Rodgers. And another thing, just to tickle your funny bones, there'll be another weapon alongside Garrett Wilson in the WR2 spot. There will. There will. And we will go 12-5. I don't care if other teams have not gone 12-5 this way. I don't care. We found our own way. And the way we're doing it is a top 3 defense in the NFL. The way we're doing it is the best damn running back in the NFL. And the way we're doing it is the best damn, most underrated wide receiver in the NFL because he had no one throwing him the ball last year. And the way we're doing it is a great, awesome tight end room with Conklin, who would have been an 800-yard tight end receiver in a real offense. And Jeremy Ruckert, the most underutilized, most potent, most awesome weapon in the NFL. That's how we're doing it, because now we're going to have an experienced veteran quarterback who's going to put us in positions from play to play to win. Now we're going to have a quarterback who gets the ball to open receivers so they're not running down the field wide open, wondering why there's no football coming in their direction. That's why. 12-5, ladies and gentlemen, 12-5. You heard it here. It's not a prediction. It's a freaking spoiler. Now let me say hello to some people in the chat. Ant Jets 82, I hope you're still here. I know you got here really early. It's good to see you. It's good to see you too, David. I don't know what you're rambling on about now, Modine, but you're going to get to pull up your old man shorts and pull up your old man black socks. Put the compression socks on for your Velcro veins and get ready to watch this team flourish. There you go. Junio Rudy, there you go. That's a Jet fan. That's a man. Bradigan. It is going to be a wacky Wednesday. It is a wacky Wednesday. What's going on, Superfan? I better see you be a Superfan because we are going 12-5. JPJ, I wish, man. I wish, JPJ. I don't see how, but I wish. Maybe a trade down. Maybe we trade down. We get 2 number 2s. Can you imagine? Then we have 2 second-round picks and a third-round pick. We get JPJ. Maybe in the second round we get Roman Wilson or Ladd McConkey. Maybe we what did we do with tackle? Maybe we got a tackle in free agency. Maybe we got 2 of them. Maybe AVT will be a tackle. I love it, man. I love it because if you stick JPJ at center, you got Tippmann to play guard, and there you go. And there you go. It is time for Pride and Chaos, except we don't have the Pride yet. That's right. Fuck them. Yeah, man. That's right. Fuck them. Fuck everybody. Nobody's telling me that we're not winning. We are winning. You guys will never learn with your shitty Miami Dolphins. When will the Miami Dolphin fans learn? You're shit. When's the last time you won a playoff game? You're shit. Just because you remember Dan Marino, he's a fucking memory. What have the Miami Dolphins done? All that I hear is the Miami Dolphins every year. You walk around in your pansy parachute, light aqua-colored fucking pants, acting like you fucking own anything. The Miami Dolphins are a shit organization. You haven't won a fucking thing in a quarter of a century and even longer. So what are you talking about? Go back and Google when you won a playoff game. Okay? You want to know what it's like to play in an AFC East championship game? Well, you haven't since what? 1983? Maybe we could tell you about it because guess what? We might not have made the playoffs in a while, but at least our fucking teenagers can say that we've won a playoff game in their fucking lifetime. So don't give me that shit about how the Jet fans are dreaming. Fuck Miami. You fucking putrid organization. What a piece of shit organization the Miami Dolphins are. They haven't won a playoff game in 30 fucking years. And now they're going to run and say, no, it's not true. We won a playoff game 24 years ago. You had Dan Marino, arguably one of the greatest passing quarterbacks in the world. And how many Super Bowls did you win? How many? I hear crickets because you won 0. That's how many you won. You haven't won a Super Bowl since 73. That's only 4 more years recent than the New York Jets. And guess what? We've been to the AFC Championship game 4 times while you've been twiddling your fucking thumbs, acting like drinking your champagne every time a team isn't undefeated. Like that means anything in 1973. Like anybody fucking remembers or anybody fucking cares about your unofficial Arista fucking mark because it was 14 game seasons, pre-fucking change of the rules, fucking historic, fucking prehistoric dinosaur fucking accomplishments. Okay? You wish you were the fucking Jets. The last thing I'm worried about is fucking Miami. I'm worried about New England. I'm worried about Buffalo before I'm worried about those turd Miami Dolphins who will go another 50 years without winning a Super Bowl because you all got your sun baked in the fucking sun thinking you're some fucking organization that's even relevant in this league. And I'm sorry to tell you, you're not fucking relevant. You're not relevant. Get me started on the fucking Miami Dolphins. And if anybody's sitting here going, "Oh, the Jets stink, man," you're wrong. We stink. Go fucking Miami. Go to fucking Miami and bake down there with those fucking pansy fans down there talking shit about us. And it's your fault, fucking down to the dumps. Fucking don't let your vagina hit you on the fucking door on the way out. Fucking pansy motherfuckers. I'm so sick of this weak, pathetic, fairy fucking fan base crying like little babies. We got men on this team. We got fucking players on this team. We got studs on this team. And if you're not down with us, get the fuck off the bus. Get off the train. We don't got room for you. We're not here to play games. This team is going to win. And I'm sick of you playing into these fucking Miami Dolphin fans their fucking rants about how we're a joke. And you fucking validate it. Punch them in the fucking face. Don't validate that shit. Don't sit there and go along with that. You take a Miami fan and you take their whiny little fucking excuse-making ass and you tell them to shove it up their fucking ass. They haven't won a playoff game in 25 years because they suck. And they could stick those little fucking plastic things in their oranges and suck the juice out because that's all they know how to fucking do.
I didn't even want to wait for an introduction. I don't want to interrupt you. Keep going.
Because I'm so sick of it. I'm listening to this fucking guy say, "Do you think the Jets are going to win the division?" A Miami fan's going to say that? You haven't won a playoff game in 25 years. Who the fuck are you to talk about the potential of my fucking team? When you watch that pansy faggot fucking football team of yours, the Miami Dolphins. Fucking Merino homo, you fucking weirdos. With your parachute freaking pants and your aqua blue color. Who wears colors like that proudly? Walk around in your green aqua colors like you're proud. Like you're proud of being a pansy. I'd be humiliated. How are you not writing to your owner every freaking day to change the colors of that pathetic team of yours? I'm done. You got anything to say, Nick?
I just want to hi everyone. How's everybody? I don't know. I caught some of it. I was laughing as I was getting set up and my coffee was making. And I want to tell you personally, as my friend, I hate you because you saw my text today and I said I got a rant and I want to go off and it's very un-Nick like that I'm gonna be angry. And now I can't do it because I look like I'm fucking copying you. So way to steal. I was ready to F-bomb McCole Hardman. No, now it looks forced. Now it looks like I'm trying to match you. Now I got to be the Tom one. We got a yin and yang here. I love the energy. Too, I wanted that energy. I was going to F-bomb McCole Hardman, tell him that his last name, Hardman, he should go get his next job working under P. Diddy. He's got the perfect name for it. I was ready. You saw my tweets today. I'm famous Amos. I thank you for your cookies, but your grandson sucks at football. Like I was ready to go off on such a good rant. No, I don't. No, I can't. He stole the energy. You know, Junior. Rudy.
No, but what about Hardman? What about Hardman? I didn't even mention Hardman.
He just basically told every fucking team who was interested in him, hey, don't come and get me because I'm a dumb fuck who gives up on my team. I'll give your playbook away if I'm upset and I'm in my feelings. He's a typical millennial. Fuck him.
Yeah. Well, he's a piece of shit, and maybe he'll get us. Maybe he'll get us to 30 seconds.
Jeremy, keep the energy up. Yeah, McCole Hardman. Like you basically told everyone 2 weeks earlier, you're talking to the GM and Pat Mahomes and said, come and get me. What the fuck is that? What is that bullshit? That's tampering. The Chiefs are turning into the Patriots.
Like Christmas. I'll take pick number 32.
Are turning into the Patriots more and more by the day.
I'll take pick 32.
Why is this so? No, we don't get it. It's like the Dolphins. Coincidental. The Dolphins lost their first round pick for trying to tamper with Brady. the Chiefs would just lose their pick. We don't get compensation from it like that.
Oh, that's a shame because pick 32 would be very sweet. I would take that pick all fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. But that's not how that works because, last year there was just 31 picks because the Dolphins lost theirs. That's all it would be.
Is McCole Hardman a free agent?
He is a free agent because he had a 1-year deal with us. Who would sign him now?
Who would sign this?
Who in their right mind would go and sign him? The guy admitted he quit. The guy admitted he got beat out by a rookie. An undrafted rookie beat him out as a returner, and this bitch was so in his feelings. We need you to return. No, I'm not doing it. You're telling the rest of the fucking NFL, I'm not a team guy. I know what a winning organization looks like. Do you think that you had anything to do with that organization winning? Do you think if Kadarius Toney wasn't a fucking mental case, you would have been active for the Super Bowl? Do you think that if Sky Moore was healthy, you would have been active for the Super Bowl? Do you think they called that play for you? It's play design over player. Whoever the fuck was going to get that play call would have caught that play. They didn't run that play because they said, we got to get McCole Hardman the ball. McCole Hardman's unstoppable. No. You made your one fucking play and you'll never be heard from again. And all you'll be doing is podcasts for the rest of your pathetic fucking life. I was going to be so much. I don't even want to try to attempt to match you. You take everything I enjoy. If I tell you that I like oxygen, you would choke me to death.
That's not why I did it.
I know. It called for it. It called for it.
But I'll tell you what. He could get another job because you know who would take a guy like that? The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins. Give us your bullies. Give us your rapers. Give us your beating up women on the field and running over them. The Miami Dolphins.
You want to impregnate multiple women at the same time? We'll take you.
Miami. They'll take them and they can have them. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. You can go play for anyone.
Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid that these former players, are going to come back and haunt us. I'm not afraid. What? If we don't sign Becton, he's going to come back and we're not going to be able to penetrate his incredible horizontal and lateral movement? No. You know what would happen if Becton was playing against some team against us? JJ or McDonald will run circles around them and get multiple sacks. That's what will happen. I am feeling it. This is our year, mofos. This is our year. And to rub luck into it, to make this year different than other years, I'm going to be so present. I'm going to be so there. And I refuse to be afraid. I refuse to sit there and coddle and cower and be nervous about playing other teams. We're going to be the teams that people fear. This is the year because we're coming back healthy, and that's everything.
Yeah.
And then if it works out, I don't know how it would, but if it was to somehow magically work out that Talise Fuaga is a New York Jet, woo! You're going to see a whole new brand of attitude on that offensive line, and it's going to be beautiful.
I'm going to trigger your energy towards me now.
Yeah.
I do not think the New York Jets leave themselves in a position to draft a tackle in round 1. I think they solidify tackle in free agency, and I think they leave themselves open in round 1 to either take the best weapon, to trade back, to take, I hate to say it, a defensive tackle. Byron Murphy from Texas, you trade back a few spots. I'm saying it now. The New York Jets are not going to go into the draft with tackle being the guy that we need because you're telling the rest of the league we got to leapfrog you if we want this guy. So,
well, I'll tell you what. If we address the offensive line in a way that we all feel good about going into that draft, the one gift that it's not going to happen. Because he's moving up and he's probably going top 5. But man, you said it a couple of months ago, Nick, and now I'm so bought into it. Can you imagine Neighbors putting on a Jet uniform? I mean, I know it's not going to happen. Neighbors will be gone, but my God. I don't even
Yeah.
want to hear Bowers' name. I'm sorry, I love Bowers, but I don't want to hear his name next to Neighbors. Neighbors is a fucking dream.
See, I think Odunze is a better complement to Garrett Wilson. I know Neighbors is identical to Wilson in terms of what they bring to the table, but I don't think either make it. Like, I did a full round one mock on Monday on the IOW show I do, and I went quarterback, receiver, tight end. And then, no, I went alt, and then I went tight end to Chicago at 9. I went Bowers to Chicago to give them another weapon for Caleb Williams. And I thought it was the absolute worst case scenario. I did no trades, so I had us taking Fashanu. But I don't think the Jets, I think that's the best case scenario for the Jets.
It is, because then we trade down.
100%.
I mean, then we definitely trade down. There's no fucking question about it. I mean, if those receivers are gone, I mean, you just trade down.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know about, I would much rather grab a JPC or whatever his fucking name is, JPP. or
JPK, right?
Yeah, I'd much rather grab him, or
Yeah.
if you trade it
I
down.
want to be stout in the middle of the line. If you get me JP, you trade back a little bit and you pick before Seattle or Pittsburgh, you take him, you take Byron Murphy, pair him next to Quinnen Williams. Let's not forget, we're losing Woods. We lost Jefferson. We could lose Solomon Thomas. We could lose Huff. That's 4 guys out of our rotation.
No, we
This
definitely need
team
some defensive line.
constantly and consistently will draft defensive linemen early. Do not think that they're going into here without options.
That's the funniest line I've heard all day.
It is, because I said one little thing and he wrote like a soliloquy about not liking me in one of the comments on YouTube, and you basically fucked everything in its existence. He's like, "Oh, I still like you." So, Daniel, thank you.
Because I did it like a fan. I did it like just an angry Jets fan, so I got away with it.
Yeah,
I didn't do it like a guy yelling at him. I did it as an angry Jet fan. He probably enjoyed it. Look at the angry Jet fan, all mad,
Angry Jet fan. That narrows it down to all of us.
all mad and upset about his team, frustrated of 45 years of losing. Knobcraft, baby, with the super chat, giving me money for it.
There you
Gotta
go.
love Knobcraft.
Hey,
It's like he took the cigar out of his mouth, he ran out of the kitchen, he put the wine that he hides in the fridge away, and he put in a super chat.
Nice.
Every chef, by the way, has wine somewhere hidden. They have it in these paper cups. They pour it in paper cups and they hide it in the walk-in fridge.
nice.
This goes with the job. So who's
That's
Junio Rodi, man? This is my new best friend. This is my new best friend. Do you know him?
No.
Okay, it's my new best friend. Anyway,
Okay.
he's saying, would you take a flyer on Jordan Travis in the 4th?
Yes, but I am going to go out on a limb and say we might not have a 4th. I know we have 2 right now. I think we use our 3 and a 4 to move up into round 2. If somebody that they really like, if we don't get a guard, I think you're going to see us moving up for somebody like Haynes or Beebe. I just think that those guys scream what we wanted with Tomlinson. And if you go get a guy like that and team him up with Tippmann and Vera Tucker in the middle, now you have the makings of a very good line. Yeah. Dane, yes. Odunze overtaking Neighbors lately. I think it goes to fit. I think it goes to scheme. I think it goes to what type of player you want, right? Like, there were people who wanted Drake London, and then there was people who wanted Garrett Wilson. You know, different type of receivers do different things. I think that these 2 are like that, you know, with
Shit. I missed this somehow, and it's the best fucking super chat. You know why? Because he's quoting one of my favorite movies of all time. Better Off Dead. Remember, I want my $2.
Yeah.
Here's your fucking $2. No wonder he sent me back to find it. You can't miss this one. This is the greatest super chat ever. I want your fucking $2. I want my $2. Sorry, what were you saying there?
That's fine. That's fine. I think we maneuver. If we don't trade back, say we stay 10 and we take the pick, I think you're going to see us use our 3 and a 4 to move up as far as we can, and even one of the later picks or a future pick. I don't think that they're going to let players that they love slide. And I think out of the first 3 picks that we take right now, today, without knowing free agency, without knowing the restructures or trades, I'm going to predict that the first 3 picks are a wide receiver, an interior offensive lineman, and a defensive lineman. Because I do not think that they're not going to leave tackle to a rookie. It's easier to leave a guard as a rookie. And I don't think they're going to go into a win now season hoping that a tackle develops. You're better off with an interior guy. You can go with Schweitzer for a couple games if need be. You can re-sign McGovern to a veteran contract and put him in there and then move Tittman over when it's time to go. So I do not think, as much as everyone's screaming offensive tackle, I think everyone is going to be wrong. I don't see it. I think that they lock it up in free agency. Sure, it could be short deals. It could be Cam Robinson on a 2 or 3 year deal. It could be Onwenu. It could be a Trent Brown. It could be anyone. But I don't think that they are going to go into the draft telling the rest of the NFL the New York Jets are at number 10 are taking a tackle. I think that would be a failed job as a general manager.
Well, it wouldn't be great. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we can't always force people to sign with us, but hopefully the plan is, and hopefully it will come to fruition, that we address the offensive line. Like going into that draft, it's not an absolute must. You know, the gun is not to our head, and we have some flexibility and some options. That would be great. Going back, though, I want to say one thing about Jordan Travis and what would be great about if the Jets did take a flyer on a 4th round pick on a quarterback, he would be the perfect quarterback to do it. Because one is we don't know where he'd be projected if he was never injured, right? So he's a guy who could be a lot better than his pick, than his place, right? Because those I love, like, you know, as we know, the numbers say it. If you're picked after the 3rd round in quarterback, after a 2nd round even, you have a 3.6% chance of ever being a significant starter in the league. And that's just by counting up the numbers in the last 30 years. Now, if you pick a guy like that, that makes sense, though. Why would he be that guy? Like, what makes him different than everyone else? Well, we don't have a real evaluation of him because he was injured, and that's why he slipped. So he has the chance to, let's look at his tape and see if he could be the guy, you know. And the other thing that's really important that people are forgetting is I don't want to waste a spot on the roster. We're limited to 53. It's hard enough we have to cut good players. I don't want to waste a spot on a 3rd quarterback. Now, the good thing about Jordan Travis is we can IR him. It's very easy to put him in the IR for the first year and not have to worry about taking up a roster spot. So, and
put him on the pup, right? He didn't have like a ligament tear. I think he broke his ankle, right?
Well, whatever it is, but you just develop him without taking up a roster spot. You don't want to use him the first year anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now the NFL has that rule about the 3rd quarterback, right? Being like the emergency guy that you can start.
Yeah, but that's,
so like essentially it doesn't.
But we didn't go with a 3 with 50. We didn't have a 3rd quarterback because you still have to you still have to put that person on the 53 though, right? And it's hard for us whenever we get. That's what she said. When we get down to the end of cuts, it's very difficult to get down to 53, and that's a good thing. We have a lot of good players. We have a lot of young players that we like. So I'm just saying he brings us an interesting advantage because we can keep him without. We could keep him without putting him out there.
Basically, can redshirt him.
Yeah, we could redshirt him without worry.
I'm not against the player. I thought the player. I thought Travis was nice. I like his. I saw a couple of games before he got injured. I thought he stood up well in the pocket when he delivered the ball. I thought he was nice with his mobility. Nowadays in the NFL, you can't draft somebody like a Tom Brady anymore. You got to be able to move. Those days with this defensive lineman are done. You have to be able to move in the pocket. You got to be able to get out. You got to be able to extend the play. So anyone who can do that, I'm in favor of. Like, pocket passers are not going to be coming out of college. They're going to be scarce. Even somebody who, like Trevor Lawrence, who went number 1 overall, has great mobility. So if you can move, you can extend the play. I'm in favor of you.
Yeah, Jake. The quarterback rule.
Go ahead.
The quarterback rule doesn't stop you from counting against the 53. The quarterback rule allows you to dress an extra player. So instead of just dressing 48, you dress 48, and you can have an emergency quarterback that you can't bring in just for the hell of bringing in, and it has to be due to injury. So that's all it does. But 53 is 53.
Yeah, I got no issue with it. I think we get someone who, I think the best thing for the New York Jets, and more importantly for the New York Jet fans, is we do not bring in a high draft pick with expectations to start immediately from day one. We don't put the weight on the world of this guy's shoulders. We get rid of this stupid fucking term savior. We just let a kid develop. We let a kid learn. It's worked in Green Bay a couple times in a row, right? It's worked in other places. Tom Brady sat. A lot of guys. Lamar Jackson sat. Patrick Mahomes sat. Burrow played right away. Allen played right away.
Can you imagine the reaction of our fan base? and you know what? Even JD in his interview mentioned the position, which was really funny to me. Can you imagine if we addressed offensive line in the draft to the point where we just needed to get someone in the interior later on in the draft, and we went up on that podium and took JJ McCarthy? Can you imagine? Look, can you imagine the reaction of our fan base if they come up on that and take JJ?
You would want to be watching me because I am not a fan at all. I'm not a fan. I don't want to get in. I don't even want to discuss it. I don't support anything from Michigan football wise.
Oh, you don't like Michigan football? I'm just telling you. I
don't want a guy who has single-digit completions in multiple games. They were a run-first team. There's not enough film. There's not enough quality for me to say he deserves to be drafted. I would rather let Denver or the Raiders try to draft him. I can't get on board with that. I would very un-Nick-like. I would lose my shit if that was the pick.
He's going to be a superstar quarterback in this league. But I understand the frustration of he wouldn't make us any better this year. So I understand that's why there would be so much anger because he won't even touch the field this year. So you're drafting a player with your first pick that is not going to touch the field possibly for 2 years. It would be very, very hard to digest something like that.
Let me add this. You would have to get 2 starting tackles. You would have to get a number 2 worthy wide receiver in free agency. You would have to get a 3rd edge rusher. You would have to get maybe 2 defensive tackles in free agency before I could even get to the point of saying any quarterback would be in discussion at 10.
Right. No.
We can't. Not this year. Next year? Sure. Go nuts. Get your guy next year. Trade up and get a guy if you like him. I don't care. But this year, we need guys that can hit the field in September and hopefully be on the field in February.
I fully understand the position. I'm just saying it's very unlikely, but it's not impossible.
That's what you said.
But it's very unlikely. Fellas, who are your top 3 watching the Combine? You know what? I am watching Guyton and J.C. Latham. I've been running my mouth that I think Taylor Guyton is better than J.C. Latham. I am waiting. I am waiting. Huh?
You've been shitting on Latham.
I know because I watched. I'm not going to say his name, but a friend of ours and I watched some film on him, and I'm very nervous about his lateral movement. It's very concerning. He's been kept very nice and tucked very safe in Alabama in a team that runs the ball a lot, where he's going against, he's not having to deal with wide gap edge rushers, and when he does, it doesn't look as dominant. And then when you look at Taylor Guyton, what I like about him is that I don't know his first name. T. Guyton is Tyler. That the thing about Tyler is he's very quick with his.
Oh no! Theodore. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He needs to get stronger, but that I know could happen in the gym. He doesn't need to get more athletic. So he's able to get the correct angles. He's able to slide his feet. He's able to move. So I think what's going to prove that is the 20-step shuttle drill in the combines. I don't know if they've had it yet because I haven't had a chance. I've been
I
busy.
think linemen usually go later in the week. I haven't seen.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to those numbers because to me that's the final thing. If J.C. Latham matches Guyton in that drill, then I'm cool with Latham. I'll trust that drill because it's so accurate with that measurement. But if there's a big discrepancy and Guyton is a lot faster and better than he is in that drill, then I'm sticking to it. Guyton is the better pick. And that's my only concern. That's my real concern. It's not that I don't think Jay Latham should be a first-round pick still. It's not that I don't think he could still end up being a great right tackle. I just have a lot more concerns about him than I do Guyton because Guyton is the athlete. And I'm like JD. I like drafting the athlete. I want to draft the guy with the athletic ability because that guy can be coached.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
I'm going to take this one if you don't mind. I don't have anyone that I'm watching per se, but I'm just paying attention for. Ever since Vernon Golston, I'm very wary of who does well that has some question marks. Like, I don't give a shit about. To me, the combine is not where guys rise. To me, the combine is where you mark guys off. Interviews, character questions, commitment to football. To me, the combine is not a place to rise. You have years of film that show who and what you are as a player. You shouldn't rise because of your bench press. You shouldn't rise because of how far you could throw a ball. You shouldn't rise because at your pro day you're rolling to the left and you throw it 67 yards back to the right. Film speaks volumes. I'm not one that says, ooh, this guy caught the ball running across the field. We should draft him. No, we got film to see that he catches it. That's just me. I want to get to, I saw a comment. No. Absolutely 100% not. It's laughable to even think about this, Johnny, and I'll tell you why. You're going to give up multiple ones. You're going to pay a quarterback's ransom for Justin Jefferson. We can't afford that. We have too many needs. You're going to pay him $30 million a year the year before you're eligible to extend Sauce and Garrett Wilson and JJ and Breece Hall. I don't see it happening. You're going to pay him $30 million a year, and what are you going to do next year with Garrett Wilson? I don't see it. I don't see them discussing it or entertaining it. I think it doesn't make sense for the Jets to do. A team that makes perfect sense, who should be all in on it, is the Houston Texans. Rookie quarterback, a lot of salary cap. You could send somebody like Nico Collins or Tank Dell or Noah Brown back as part of the package to give them a receiver. But you put Stroud and Jefferson together, holy shit. That's like a healthy Burrow and Chase. That would be scary in the AFC, especially with the way the rest of that team's developing. But I don't think the Jets even entertain it. What are you going to do? Then you're going to get rid of Garrett Wilson? You're going to get rid of the guy that the homegrown, the fans love? You're going to ship him off because you can't pay him?
Yeah, it's hard. It's also hard to imagine him coming to the Jets. It's like, yeah, let me go and sign, because wherever he goes, he's going to sign a long-term deal, right? So you're paying everything for him. You're going to pay a shitload of picks, right? You're going to pay a shitload of picks and a shitload of money. So now the question for the Jets is, if we did that, how are we ever going to get a quarterback, right? When Rodgers is gone, Jefferson's not stupid. His agent's not stupid. These are adults, right? Lots of people are offering him a lot of money. He sees, like you said, a team like Houston with C.J. Stroud, who is going to be with the Texans for the next 10 years. And then he looks over at us and he sees a guy that's coming off an Achilles that it might give you 2 years and no more. And then
go team up with Stroud, you're entering the record books, like long term. Yeah. Like that's the combination you want. You're not going to go to a team that doesn't have a quarterback answer long term. If you're Jefferson, that might be the reason you want to leave Minnesota. Maybe word is that Kirk Cousins is out. So you want quarterback stability so you can break every fucking receiver record that you want to break. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It doesn't make sense in a lot of different ways. It does. I mean, but to me, even before you get into the argument of is it good for the Jets or not, which we can make so clear, it's like such a fantasy because why would he come here? Like people have to understand he's going to sign a 5.
why would we want him?
He's going to be right. But even before that, why would he come here? He's like you said, quarterback's ransom. He's a guy that's going to get 120 million guaranteed, 30 million a year more. Right?
He'll get 5 years. He'll get
deal.
5 years, 150 million with over 100 guaranteed. It's going to be quarterback play.
Right. So he's going to look at where do I want to be for the next 5 to 7 years of my career. There's no way he's coming to the Jets. And then when you consider the Jets, it's like, yeah, if it was just the money and he was a free agent, maybe we figure it out and we say the fuck with the future. We're going all in for 2 years. But you cannot give away those draft picks. You see, that's the thing that cannot be done. No. You can't give away 3 first-round picks, second-round picks. Like you said, we're not ready. We don't have the rest of the roster to do that.
And there's a domino effect. You can't just and Jets fans will be tunnel vision all the time. Well, they got this player. Why didn't we? All right, let's take Houston, for example. Houston has a quarterback on a rookie scale, has a elite quarterback, or at least it appears that way after his rookie season, right? They're set up to win. They're young. They're developing. They have the chance to be good now and 5 years from now. When you got a quarterback and a coach, you have a chance to be great long term. Now the domino effect of that. What are you going to do? Here's the question. Anyone who says go get him, ask them this question. What are you going to do with Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Breece Hall? Because you're probably losing multiple. You're probably going to lose multiple guys there. Sauce, to me, gets paid next offseason, gets an extension, highest paid cornerback in football. I think the Jets make that happen next offseason. Okay? Garrett Wilson, I think it's obvious they pick up his 5th-year option. I think they wait 1 more year for him to give him the extension. Now, if he goes off next year with Rodgers, 1,600 plus, a dozen touchdowns plus, 125 catches plus, a lot of what we thought he would do this year with Rodgers, then you can extend him next season too. I think JJ waits. I think JJ gets the 5th-year option picked up, and JJ doesn't get extended to the year after. And Breece Hall, being a running back off of an ACL, and Jets fans are going to hate this, he might be the short man out with this. With the 3 first-round picks, he might be out. I mean, time will tell, but if you go get Justin Jefferson, you're losing 2 of those guys because you can't have an $80 million, $20 million a year defensive end. You can't have a $25 million and a $30 million a year wide receiver. You can't have a $25 million cornerback. You can't have a $15 million a year running back and not have an answer at quarterback. So you have to be prepared to lose those guys, at least 2 of them, in my opinion, where we're at now and seeing what the cap will look like in 2 years. That's just me. Houston Texans, go to fuck all in. 100% go all in. You know, my scenario that I brought up with Lamar the other day on the IOW show, this is what I would do. The Vikings have already shown they would trade in division when they traded Hawkinson to the Vikings, right? They've traded in division before. So now you're not afraid to trade in division, right? You're not afraid to give up picks or get picks from someone in division. I call up the Chicago Bears and I say to them, we will give you Justin Jefferson. You give us the number 1 overall pick. Now Minnesota has number 1 and 11. And then you add a little bit more to it, right? But that's the main part of it. Now, at number 9 with the Bears, I'm calling up the Patriots at 3 saying, we'll give you number 9 and we'll give you whatever, Justin Fields, and number 9 to move up to number 3. So now you're the Bears. You've acquired Justin Jefferson, and you still have the number 3 overall pick, where you can now get a quarterback for the future with him. So, well, I mean, no. Also, let me, if you don't mind, let me add to that.
Sure. Why should I talk?
I'm still waiting for your blood pressure to come down. I'm sorry. I just had one more thought on this with the Vikings. Kirk Cousins might be gone. Dalvin Cook's already gone. Danielle Hunter's gone. You got to hit a major reset. Do you want to pay a receiver $30 million in a reset? Go ahead. That's all I wanted to say.
No, I was just wondering what would your reaction be? I don't think they could do it. I pretty much know they can't. But what if in some crazy fucking bizarro world, the Kansas City Chiefs go after Justin Jefferson?
I don't think they can make that work financially, bro.
I don't think so. I mean, they had to let Tyreek Hill go because they couldn't, right?
I don't think they can do that with what you're going to have to pay Chris Jones and with Mahomes and some of their contracts.
Well, thank God, because if Justin Jefferson went to Kansas City, we're all fucked.
And if you're the Vikings, why do you want those picks at the end of the round, right? You want premium picks. You have number 11 already. You want to add a pick that you can go up and get your quarterback of the future. If you're letting Kirk Cousins walk, who's beloved in Minnesota by the fans and the organization and the players, you better go get something better than number 11 with your replacement.
Yeah. That's true. Minnesota, man, those fans suffered, man. Okay. I'm not going to feel sorry for any other fan base though, because we're Jet fans. But they're a fan base that I can relate to. I've seen them breaking TVs in their homes, losing out on great opportunities because of missed field goals. They definitely have felt the pain. They've definitely felt the pain.
Yeah,
no question.
Agree.
But
would Jefferson fit in with the Chargers? Oof. You got Quentin Johnson there. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen and Mike Williams count for $72 million going into the season.
They're cutting everybody. They are strapped with the cap. I mean, the reason that they have to let all those guys go is because they're well over right now, and they got to cut it down just to retain and just to maintain. They just can't afford it. Yeah, that's why Keenan Allen might be available to us. And I know a lot of people say no because of his age, and his injury history. I mean, there's a lot, but if I guess it would depend on price, because everyone is worth it at a price. But like Keenan Allen,
$1 million man. Shout out to Virgil, rest in peace, Virgil, who passed away today. But everyone's got a price. Very well done. Way to tie that in.
But Keenan Allen, like as old as he is, he's a freaking possession machine. He gets 12 receptions a game when he's healthy. He's out of control. So it's very hard to just if you're just looking at the next 1-2 year window, and if you got him at a good price, that could be a nice little chip for us, Yeah.
And the Chargers, yes, young quarterback, new coach, new regime. Yeah, that's somebody that can go in on it, right? I don't see New England. There's no quarterback issue. I don't see Washington. I could see the Bears, but the division is tricky. They got a number 1. They got number 9. They can give Minnesota nice pieces. I don't see the Bills. I don't think can swing it, right? Dolphins can't. They got too much money there already at receiver, and they're in cap hell.
Yeah,
I don't see the Jets doing it because all the guys that are coming up with big contracts.
The Bills?
I don't see anyone in the AFC North. I don't see the Ravens. I mean,
here's the thing, just to give you some perspective. The reason you'll never see the Ravens or the Steelers do it, because they're too smart.
Yeah.
Right? They're too smart.
They're not going to give up.
They know that's not how you win. They just know.
What are they going to do? They're going to do what they always do, right? They're going to build the fucking trenches and have guys who are just a bit better than average on the outside.
Right.
Occasionally you get lucky and you get somebody like an Antonio Brown.
I'm trying to think.
The Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals
teams have the money, and the picks. Like when you think about it.
Yeah, but if you're Arizona, you same thing you said earlier, Dane, with Chicago. I think it was you. You're better off just taking Marvin Harrison and paying a third
Yeah.
of the contract
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Just
than
take
giving up
Neighbors.
that pick. And here's the thing that really is the sticking point. You have to give up the compensation and then pay the contract. That's going to be the top wide receiver contract ever. And it's going to be blowing away Tyreek Hill's deal.
And then it's the thing. If you wanted JJ so bad and you're a Jets fan, what you should be screaming for is that we take the best wide receiver available at 10 then. Or we'd be better off taking our third round pick, our next year's second, and trading up the 10 pick to get a wide receiver, and that would be less costly than JJ. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. We can like it doesn't make sense. You can get like if you got a guy like a Dunze or Neighbors, you can't tell me that JJ is that much better for them or would make that much of a difference on our team towards winning. And the price would be so much less.
My stomach just turned.
So that's actually a good point. That's actually the best point about it. Why would the Jets trade 3 first-round picks and pay all that money when they could possibly get the guy with 1 first-round pick this year?
Yeah. I would rather take next year's 2 and this year's 1 and move up to solidify Neighbors or Odunze. Then trade all of that. Like I don't know. My stomach turned. I couldn't even read that one.
It's only going to be Odell Beckham if he wants to be a WR3. I don't want him as WR2. He's not a WR2. He's not. He's not productive enough to be a WR2. And he's gonna want 15 million again. And he's a diva. That's what our freaking locker room. If there's any truth to what we're reading, we need Odell in that locker room. In that locker room of egomaniacs, it's like, no, thank you.
I don't want Odell in the New York market. Odell is a Jamal Adams. They are self-promoting sons of bitches.
I don't want any self-promoting guys. I'm sick of guys that are into themselves.
I'm good, man. I didn't like it last summer. I don't like it now. I don't like it ever. I would rather trade up into round 2 and get one of the other guys than bring in Odell Beckham.
Look at Caleb Williams has spent the last 3 months backtracking everything there was about him. All he's saying is, it's not true. I would love Chicago. I don't need ownership of the team. I just want to play football. For 3 months, he's been backpedaling.
But then he hires Archie Manning as his agent.
Right. When the teams in the NFL got to learn, you don't want these guys on your team. You don't. There's like no. The only reason Odell got another ring was because he went to a team that was about to win a Super Bowl. That's it. He is not a guy that's going to bring your team over the mountain to the Super Bowl. He's not. He's not that guy because he's not a locker room guy. He's not a winner. He isn't. He's a self-promoting prick that cares about his own numbers. Yeah.
He towed the company line in LA, though. Everyone said that. Everybody said he towed the company line in LA. And I thought, in Baltimore, I think it's a good enough locker room with a lot of good veterans where you're not going to pull that bullshit. But if things go off the rails here or if number 8 gets injured again, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be McCole Hardman 2.0. I don't want guys like that. What we've heard from here, everyone knows I'm a big supporter of Joe Douglas. I feel that there's some guys have gotten injured and it makes it look like some guys who were deserving of being picked haven't panned out, right? Becton was worthy of being picked there. A lot of us were all slamming our fists saying we need an offensive lineman, we need an offensive lineman. You can argue if it was Wirfs or Becton, but all those guys were in the discussion. It's not like we took a Cole Strange out of the blue like the Patriots did in the first round. He was going in 3rd and 4th rounds or later in mocks. Becton was talked about as a top guy. He just didn't pan out. Sometimes that happens, right? It's our luck. We have a lot of guys that don't pan out. But one of the things with Douglas that give me a minute. Damn it. I gotta take this. It's Nikki. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. Hey, so one of the things that I wanted to say was Odell Becton is not coming. but or Beckham or whatever. But I'll tell you who might be coming, and that's Becton. We might bring back Becton back, Mekhi Becton, and here's why: because he might not have a market. It's going to be very complicated. Other teams are not going to know what to do. Like, we don't know this guy. We just know he looked really good his rookie year, and then he was hurt for a few years, and then he wasn't very good last year. So they're going to come back. They're going to go, this guy was good. Once upon a time, this guy had a good rookie year. Once upon a time. And last year, he's like, they're going to look at the rate. You know, like, what do you look at when you sign a free agent? They're going to look at last year's numbers, and they're going to see a guy who was the worst offensive tackle in football. So Becton's not going to get offered any money. And then the Jets are going to come along and say, well, I don't know that we definitely don't want you to be a starter, but we know you. We remember what you once did. We invested a draft. We still might be holding on to some hope that if we sign you real cheap and let you come to camp and try out, you know, for some very reasonable deal, and the worst is you're our swing tackle, maybe you redeem yourself and in turn redeem the GM. If anybody is going to sign Becton, the chances are it's going to be the Jets. Not as a starter, but think about it. Who's more likely to sign him than the Jets?
I can't get on board with it.
I mean, just as a look, he might not play. I mean, he'll be a backup. If they're paying him a little bit of money, to me, he could still be a backup.
I think it's waiting to be Dalvin Cook at wide receiver. I'm good.
Yeah, and look, just when you said all that, you just did this whole thing about why we're not getting Justin Jefferson.
I can't.
You won't get him with 2 number 1 picks. That's the thing. You're not going to get him with 10 and next year's thing, and that's it.
But Vinny will be the first one screaming and yelling that we weren't able to extend Sauce or Garrett Wilson or Jermaine Johnson because we didn't have the money. It's not even plausible for the Jets to do it with all the contracts that they're going to have to give out. They cannot give out the number 1 contract to a wide receiver.
He's not coming here because we have a quarterback that's 41 years old, and he's going to be signing a 5-year deal that's going to eventually get restructured. Wherever he goes, Justin Jefferson is spending 7 years. He's not coming to the Jets. He's not coming to a team with Aaron freaking Rodgers at 41 years old. He's not. And Houston is the best spot. That's where I'd go if I was him. You go to Houston. They got the young quarterback that's going to be there forever. It's simple. He's not going to come to the Knicks.
Here's the only way the Jets get Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
You send Garrett Wilson as part of the package.
Look, and here's another thing that's invented. This is another thing that people have made up and invented.
You don't know that.
Oh, they're not going to stay if we don't get Justin Jefferson this year. That is just invented. This is the kind of like disease that's on Twitter that catches fire. That's the new thing. If we don't get Justin Jefferson and win, if we don't win, everyone's going to leave. It's like this panic attitude. It's like, but we are going to win. That's the thing. We are going to win. We're going to win 11, 12 games this year. I think 12. We're going to win. That's the point. We are going to win. I don't understand why it's so hard to see that we're going to win. Why is it so hard to fucking see? We would have won 11, 12 games last year with Aaron Rodgers healthy or any competent quarterback. We're going to win. So
there are people on Twitter who wake up every day and think, how can I set the next fire? No one ever wants to be happy with where things are. It's always, how can I set the next fire? Saying that Sauce and Garrett are going to demand trades. Nobody fucking knows that. They're in the biggest market in the country. They're about to get paid at the top of Sauce at the top of his position. It's a marketing dream to be in New York. There's no fucking way that any fan can say definitively what's going to happen with these guys.
I mean,
you want Justin Jefferson? You have to trade Garrett Wilson to get him.
And the second they said that rumor went out, and by the way, it's just a rumor. The second that
it's made up bullshit.
The second that tweet came out, I knew this is what it's going to be. I knew it. We have to get him. We have to get him. If JD doesn't get him, he's fired. We have to get him. No, we don't. We don't have to get him.
I
We have
dream
to
of a
get
Jets Twitter.
we have to be really smart about the second weapon that we're going to add to this team and the offensive lineman we're going to add to this team. And we have to get lucky and stay healthy. That's what we have to do. We don't have to go out and get a superstar WR1 wide receiver. That's not what we need. We have a guy named Garrett Wilson. What we need is another guy to complement him. That's what we need. That's what we have to do. We don't have to get the best wide receiver in the NFL. That's not what this team needs. Nobody thought that until they saw that stupid tweet go out that Justin Jefferson might be available.
And Wild Wave added this. The GM shut it down quick. I don't think the GM shut it down. He said, I've never entertained trading Justin Jefferson. What that tells me, you better come out with a record-setting offer to where I now have to entertain it. That's all that was. That's GM speak saying, we're not thinking about trading him. You better blow our freaking brains out of our heads with an offer. You better bring a JFK Dallas type of brain-blowing offer. It's not too soon, right? I can make that joke, right? It's been long enough, right? 60 years.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to check. I don't know. Some people. Oh, we mentioned Virgil before. I want to personally thank you for being the professional that you are, for having the intestinal fortitude to show up and do the show on the day one of your great people have passed away. Rest in peace, Richard Lewis.
Yes, Richard
Fucking
Lewis. He was a
legend.
man. He's a legend.
So good.
He was, and his work on Curb Your Enthusiasm the last 10, 15 years has been incredible. He has been so funny on that show. And that's where he's been really. And I'm going to miss him. The show finished up anyway, but just to know he's dead, man, it's sad that he was a funny guy.
I loved him in the 80s. They did that comic relief with Robin Williams and Billy Crystal and Ellen back when she had the mullet. And he was on there. Bobcat Goldthwait. I remember watching that shit with my dad and just laughing and loving Richard Lewis.
Yeah, he's one of those old-time, great freaking comedians, like from the day that was there my whole life, like since I can remember comedy. So
yeah,
it sucks.
No,
sucks.
Absolutely.
So
I thank you for persevering. You've overcome adversity. You froze there. Sorry, you froze.
Oh.
You've overcome adversity. You persevered. You've shown intestinal fortitude, and you took your anger out on the Dolphins earlier. I knew why you did it. It was obviously because you needed to vent.
Yeah.
That was good back in the 80s.
I'm frustrated. I'm upset.
My buddy, you sent me the link, right? Did you send me a link with him? No, my buddy did. It's him and it's from Curb, and they're at the wedding, and they're sitting there talking about Larry David's talking about his outfit and how good his thing is, and Jerry Lewis says something to him, and Larry David just turns to me and goes, "When are you gonna die?" And like now that one is going around today.
Yeah. Well, there was a season where he supposedly needed an organ, like a liver or something, and his character, and Larry David was like a match, but didn't want to give it to him, so he went out to find one for him, and he found the guy that controls the donor list that could move Richard Lewis to the top of the list, and it turns out, of course, he's a Jew. And he's an Orthodox Jew. So he befriends him. He purposely crashes into his car, leaves the note, acts all upset, uses it as a way to get into his life. They go skiing on a ski trip, and he's with the guy's daughter, right? Now they're religious, keep in mind. And he says, "Oh, I'll take her skiing." And she's like probably, because it's an old rabbi, she's like 35 years old, and whatever. And they're on the ski lift. And the ski lift stops and gets stuck. And she says, and now he's kissing their ass. He's doing everything because he needs to get on top of this. He needs to get Richard Lewis on top of this list, right? To get a kidney or whatever it is. And the ski lift is stuck. And she says, "It's Friday. It's the Sabbath coming. I'm a single woman. I cannot be stuck up here alone with a man when the sun goes down. You have to jump." And Larry David looks over the ledge, it's like a 30-foot drop. He looks down at the snow and the mountain, and he looks at her, And he says to him, he looks up and he quietly says, "Sorry, Richard." And he looks at her and he goes, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" "I'm not jumping." "You fucking jump." She jumps. She jumps. And then the next scene, they show him on the phone. He goes, "Richard, sorry, it's not going to work out."
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. I gotta watch that show. I've never watched it. Now that it's over, I'll start. You know my theory with television shows. For those in the chat that don't know, I don't commit to television shows until they're done, because I don't know if I'll be here in 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 years. So now that Curbed is done, I'll start it. I'm almost done with The Wire. I have 4 more episodes to finish The Wire, and then Curbed is the next show I'm going to. Oh God, Rodney, yeah.
I could watch Caddyshack, Back to School, or the one Easy Money. I could watch any of those Rodney Dangerfield movies and feel great. Like, it's the best, easiest way to cheer up.
Yeah. If you're bored, you go watch the old roast. You just Google Don Rickles roast and enjoy. Don was the best. And now there's a lot of younger people on YouTube do reaction videos. Like, there's a group of young black guys who sit there and watch like old comedians and the shit that like they used to say to one another, and they were absolutely loving them. Oh yeah, Dane, I've seen Sons. I can tell you the exact moment I watched the last episode of Sons. My father passed away June 6, 2018, and me and my girlfriend at the time were watching it. And he had cancer, so we knew he was going to pass. We knew he was in hospice, right? He went in Memorial Day for hospice and was only in there about a week. And me and her were in the middle of watching the show. And I held everything together. You know, my mom and my sister were a wreck, and I took care of everything and the arrangements and did I'll tell you guys real quick, not to get too far off or go too long here, but he passed away June 6, 2018. We drafted Sam Darnold a couple weeks earlier. So during Saturday morning, we're at the funeral home, and my girlfriend nudges me. She's like, "Go! They're waiting for you. You're gonna say something now." I'm like, "Oh!" I go up and I do a whole thing. I go, you know what's gonna piss me off more than anything? It's not gonna be my dad not here watching the grandkids grow up. It's not gonna be watching my mom and my sister cry all the time. It's gonna be that the Jets finally got a fucking quarterback, and he won't be here to enjoy it with me. Everyone's dying laughing. The funeral home director who coached me in Little Leagues pissing his pants. But fast forward 2 weeks later, we get to the finale, and Jax has to like give everyone like a bro hug to say goodbye in Sons of Anarchy. And I'm sitting in the chairs that she had in her living room, and I started bawling. And she was upset because her favorite character, who she loves in real life, is dying. And she looks at me. She goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you, you asshole?" She goes, "You fucking hate him. You hate that I love him." And she finally clicked that, like, I wish I could have said goodbye to my dad with like that big, strong hug instead of like the lifeless knuckles. And I always said, "Rest easy, old man," every time I left him. But that Sons of Anarchy, I can't watch that again because that'll make me relive that shit. But I love that fucking show. That broke me. I was like paralyzed and like hyperventilating, crying. Finally, it all came out at that moment, which is weird.
That was such a great show. It's interesting because the most upsetting thing that ever happened during that show was like the Nick Shine guy died.
Oh, Opie,
my favorite character.
Oh,
yeah, and you know exactly who I was talking about. That's the Nick Shine guy.
Yep,
right, that's the buddy.
Yeah.
That's the guy you love. That's the guy that takes care of everything. That's the bear. That's the so that was the worst for me. Yeah. That haunted me for so freaking long. That episode. That was rough. I was so upset, man. So upset with that episode. But there was some great revenge, man. Great revenge when they had that guy in the kitchen.
Yeah. And that, I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin it. I saw Jake put a comment up that he didn't watch it. You get a chance, man. Watch that. You have to watch Sons. It's on A&E, I believe.
Sons is great. Sons is great.
All right. Now that we've gone off the rails a little bit, here's a good question to get back to the Jets. I think this week the agents are there. I think, by next week when they get back, they'll conduct the business, but I think everything's going to be talked about.
Guys, most of the restructures don't need any okays from the player. Restructuring, a lot of restructuring is redoing the money, like reorganizing money. It's not always a renegotiation.
They want it. Players want the restructuring because they get a check up front.
Right. So I mean, it's literally pushing a button and sending it to the league. It's like over the cap. It's very simple, and I think that you're going to see them. Obviously, we're definitely doing it. The other thing you have to realize is when those deals are announced, when free agency opens, that's not the moment you have to have the cap space. Remember, those are all tentative agreements. Those are all tentative agreements that don't become official until the tampering period ends. Remember, we once announced that we got a linebacker from Minnesota, and then he pulled back on it because it's all tentative. Right. So there's no rush, and it takes no time to restructure. So it's not a thing to be nervous about. Like, why aren't we restructuring, clearing out the cap? There's no race to do it. It'll be fine. We could do it all in 2 hours. You could get them all done. Like, it's really not a big deal. And believe me, they're doing it. They're going to restructure all the big contracts. I mean, they already cut Lakin. You saw it. They mean business. They're going to free up a lot of money.
I think CJ Uzomah's next to get cut.
I'm shocked that hasn't happened yet. Shocked.
Yeah. I mean, he brought no value to the field. You can like the guy all you want, but Lakin Tomlinson was just as loved. He, the tragedy that he had personally in life, you hate to cut a guy like that, but if you could cut him after all that personal stuff, you can cut CJ. CJ is not that great of a leader. Great dude. Wish him well, but just didn't work out.
He's
very curious to see what they do with John Franklin Myers. A cut saves a shit ton of money. Do you want to extend them?
Yeah, they're going to.
Do you want to get some younger guys coming in on the D line? Like, it's
not the right year.
I don't think you.
No,
I know.
They're not going to let him go now, dude.
But now you're committing to him for pay on the cap for a couple more years.
He's one of our most all-around versatile, talented guys.
I know. But is he worth $16 million a year? No. Like you're talking like
they'll restructure him. They'll figure it out.
Right.
They'll renegotiate. They'll restructure, extend, and do it with a bonus kind of thing, and push the money. I think they're going to figure it out. But he has to stay. You can't let JFM walk. Not with everybody else that's leaving. I mean, we're probably going to lose Huff. We're losing Lawson. You just said it. We lost all the tackles.
Yeah.
We can't let JFM walk. He's our first, second down guy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm just curious what they do. Do they let him ride with that cab number and then get out of it completely next year? Do they extend it?
I think they want him on the team for the next 2 years. Yeah. I think they want him there for the 2 years. I think he's at the right age.
Take a pay cut, right? He's been overpaid. Like, you're getting $16 million a year. You should be getting 10 sacks.
Yeah, when you only play first and second down, and your job is to seal the edge, it's hard to get a lot of sacks.
But that's where you could say it's an overpaid player. You don't pay $16 million a year for run stuffing DNs. You pay $4 million for a guy like that. Yeah. It's the same thing with Tomlinson. Does the contract match what you're getting? You can get a run. You can go draft Jared Verse in round 1 if you want to run, or Dallas Turner if you want, and save money if you want a run stopping DN who can also get to the quarterback more often.
Well, we have to see how the draft goes. Free agency goes.
Clemens can play the outside on the run. It's and
well, he does. I think that's the plan.
I'm very, very curious.
I think the plan is Clemens and JFM on first and second down, and then McDonald and JJ on pass rush situations with a mix of JJ in the early downs too, because he's a stud and can seal the edge as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so.
If I would love to get a game going where we predict the Jets off season. Like, and everybody puts in, we extend this guy, we cut this guy, we sign this guy, and we keep like a log of it to see, almost like a pool, right? Like we throw in $5 and whoever gets the most right. I like gambling. That's all.
So I would say the cuts and restructures are coming. We'll see that maybe at the end of this week, early next week. They'll start to happen. Probably going to be in an as-need basis, like as it happens. You know what
I think
mean?
Michael Carter is post June 1st when you free up more money. And I think you get Michael Carter before training camp. I think you get your free agent things done. You wait post June 1st moves, free up some extra money. You extend Michael Carter. I think you give him a nice 3-year deal for a nickel, you know.
Yeah.
Whether it's an extension, which is this year he plays at this number, and then next year it kicks in. But I'll be honest with you guys. I think it's Reed or Carter. I don't think you're going to see both, because you're not going to have 8 to 12 million at Carter at nickel. You're not going to have 15 million a year with Reed, and then you're going to have 25 million with Sauce. You're going to have to choose between Reed or Carter, or this scheme, these coaches, if they stay on, might just say we can draft and develop corners. It's plausible.
Well, especially you know, like the way they developed Carter. You know, I mean, they could just pick another guy in the 4th or 5th round. I mean, apparently they know how to do it. So
what Carter does in the slot is more unique than what Reed does on the outside. Perfect example, the Eagles game. We had no-name guys playing our scheme. So if anyone thinks we're going to go give Sauce the biggest contract for a cornerback ever next year and give Reed a big deal and give Carter a big, you're wrong.
Right.
You're
There's
wrong.
no way.
I think you keep Carter as the nickel and you replace Reed. And you go get a young guy that you can bring in and develop, or you find a guy like Reed who fits your scheme, played elsewhere, and can come and play in a bigger role. But again, that's all if what? This GM and this coaching staff and this scheme stay in place. Ownership might say, don't extend these guys that fit this scheme. We don't know if this scheme's going to be here 7, 8, 9 months from now, whatever it is.
Right.
So.
Yep. So I'm just glad we have him now. So, you know.
Yes.
You know, because it would suck if we didn't have him. Look at us taking care of our texts. So
sorry.
No. I'm doing it too. My wife is.
I'm just making sure I got transportation lined up in the morning because tomorrow is a very big day for your boy. I go, for those that don't know, I don't think anyone knows. I got an offer from a company who now will sponsor for training for CDL. And if I pass the physical tomorrow with my diabetes and my heart, then I will be disappearing for a while. I'll be going to Memphis, Tennessee for 3 weeks and get training for CDL. And then I'll be on the road and be on the road 6 days. For every 6 days I'm on the road, I get 1 day home. So
you could stop and see guys like Dano on the road.
Oh yeah, I'll have a map and I'll put like the pins on the map where I go visit everyone. But yeah, I'll
wave.
So
go through the Illinois area, stop and what's up, Bradigan? Hang out with him.
I've tried to get this job in 2020. I tried to get in 2022, and I'll be honest with you, in active addiction, I wouldn't have been able to pass a drug test or a hair test. So, I'm like 13 days away from a year sober. So now it's time to fucking rock. And then
It's amazing. It's amazing the opportunity sobriety brings.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever fail a drug test with the CDL, you're banned from life. You can never get it again.
Right. Yeah. No. So, Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I could totally see Big Nick, the truck driver. I totally see it.
Yeah, right. I got the beard for it. You know, first thing I had to get though when I get my own like route, I'm not in a tandem anymore because the first year is a tandem. I got to get a dog. I got to get a dog on the road with me. That'd be fun.
Great. That'd be great.
Me, just a fucking fat little bulldog who sits there and snarls all the time. It'd be like riding around with you. Now I know how Jocelyn feels. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for love. I'm diabetic. The blood pressure, I think Jake asked. I'm diabetic. My blood pressure. I did not tell them on the forms that I filled out that I take insulin. So
he only talks about it on live.
Oh, you think these people are watching that? You think Dana, the recruiter from fucking Richmond, Virginia, is watching this to see, like, no offense to you or me, but she don't fucking know that this exists. Why you getting me riled up, man?
Getting you all riled up.
Look, I'm nervous enough as it is, and now you're gonna shit on me with this stuff.
It doesn't matter. We got to shut it down. We got to shut it down for the night.
Thank you, Mo. Nick did more in 1 year than the Jets have done in their history.
Well, that crack at the Jets, I'll allow. You hear what I yelled about him in my rant?
I heard some of it, and then someone upstairs was talking to me, and I
said, you got it, man. Pull up those old man trousers. Pull up those black compression socks for your Velcro veins, and get on board because the Jets are winning.
I wear compression stockings, you asshole.
I know, but I had to. Usually that's what old people wear.
They're on right now. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. They're on right now.
Scott Foster. Shout out to Scott Foster.
I had a fucking little kid.
Our new hangout guy in all of our streams, Scott Foster. Hope you're doing well.
This is the worst thing I should have done for my blood pressure is fucking hung out and talked to you for 2 hours the night before. I'll just take an extra blood pressure pill tonight before bed, and then I'll take one in the morning.
What was he saying? Over a year and a half. It's the first time I met Chaos. I've only known Jeremy. I know. I it's true. I haven't let the Chaos out in way too long, have I? You finally got to see the Chaos.
That's
Chaos
what she said.
Is back, baby. Chaos is back. No, but seriously, we should wrap it up. It's
really? All right.
Yeah. Let's get everybody over to Adam's channel and let him have his rant. He's only half an hour in. He'll appreciate it if everybody goes over there and says, "Hey, proud New York Jets fan and Jets Chaos sent us over to catch the part of your rant if we missed it, or maybe they're already on and they're going back and forth. I don't blame them. It's two good shows going on at the same time. But we should wrap it up.
Let me plug tomorrow before you go. Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock on Proud New York Jets fans. As soon as Green Bean and the Thursday thick of it is over, come on over. Jeremy hopefully will be on air there and throw a plug. So 10 o'clock tomorrow. And thank you again to everyone who's tuned in and given me feedback and the super chats. You guys were awesome, and looking forward to it. And even if I'm on the road, I'll have the laptop in the hotel for 3 weeks. I don't drink, I don't go, so I ain't going nowhere. Once class is done, I'll go back to the room, study, and do a show at night.
And don't forget, 3 o'clock tomorrow, 3 p.m. tomorrow, the reality check show on Talkin' Jets, the Talkin' Jets channel. Matthew O'Leary and I will be giving a reality check at 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Be there. Support the Chaos. And amen. We'll see you all out. We love you all. We out of here.
And now, welcome to Pride and Chaos.
I'm just
Welcome
gonna
to
yell
the darkest
fuck.
year of our
Jeremy
adventure.
did. Fuck. Jeremy yelled fuck. Jeremy yelled fuck. Fuck. Jeremy just yelled fuck again.
Oh, yeah!
Jeremy yells fuck. Jeremy likes fuck. I love you, Coach Ehrlich. I want to bear your baby, Coach Ehrlich.
Jeremy set a world record for
And
yellow
now
fuck.
give it up for Jeremy and Rick.
Now you scared me.
Jeremy just yelled
And
fucking